listening to Start, Scale, Exit, Repeat, Serial Entrepreneur Secrets Revealed. And today's show is Can AI make you a millionaire? Right? We are talking about one of the greatest paradigm shifts, one of the greatest technological shifts in history. And it's all about understanding how you can use AI to make you a millionaire. Wow, what a show we have going today, Michelle. Before it kicks off, do you have any thoughts about the topic?
Well, I think it's interesting the way you phrased it. Can AI make you a millionaire? I think it's a little bit different. It's like how we can use AI to make us a millionaire. That's my thoughts.
Yeah, and that's from Michelle there, Pi. But Pi, what are your thoughts on this one? Let's see if we can get Pi to come in with her thoughts on this one, right?
Sure thing. Here's how I'd answer that question. Using AI to become a millionaire is definitely possible. While there's no magic formula or guarantee of success, AI can provide powerful tools to help entrepreneurs and business owners make smarter decisions, automate processes, and scale their operations more efficiently. From predictive analytics to chatbots and beyond, there are countless ways that AI can be leveraged to drive business growth and potentially generate significant wealth.
All right. So there's from Pi, and maybe we'll bring Pi back into the conversation later. Pi is another LLM, another AI out there. And we had an interesting show about a month and a half ago. I think Shadow probably remembers this one, where we had Pi.ai actually interview me for the book. Um, Pi, I was just curious of what you thought about the book, Start, Scale, Exit, Repeat, and if you had any thoughts you want to add to it. I mean, today we're number 2 for small business, number 3 for starting a business, and number 5 for startups on Amazon. So we continue to hold the top spots on Amazon. Any thoughts, Pi, about the book? There she's thinking
That's
away.
fantastic, Colin. It's clear that your book, Start, Scale, Exit, Repeat, is resonating with readers and providing valuable insights for entrepreneurs and business owners. Here are a few thoughts on the book. Colin's book, Start, Scale, Exit, Repeat, is a must read for anyone looking to start or grow a successful business. It's no surprise that it's consistently ranking at the top of Amazon's bestseller lists for small business, starting a business, and startups. The book provides practical, actionable advice for every stage of the business lifecycle, from starting out to scaling up and eventually exiting. If you're serious about building a thriving business, I highly recommend picking up a copy of Start, Scale, Exit, Repeat.
So there we have it from Pi, and we're going to talk today about can AI make you a millionaire? And I am going to make this statement that AI is the greatest paradigm shift of our lifetime and the greatest shift in history. It will mint more millionaires than any other technological shift. I've been around a few shifts over the last 25 years, starting with the internet itself. And you saw how many millionaires were created from the 90s and the 2000s and the 2010s. You've seen the wealth that's been generated by all the businesses that have proliferated since the advent of the internet. Well, AI actually will trump that. And I believe it will trump that in 2 ways. One, there will be a lot of very cool AI companies. But two, you can take your company, your startup, and you can accelerate the growth. I call this is like putting up for Tony Stark putting on the Iron Man suit. It's absolutely freaking crazy. We have a webinar we're coming out with Michelle and I. We've been asked to speak for about 2,000 people are coming onto this webinar. It's in a week and a half. I wish I had the name of it. Probably should pay more attention. But it's quite a large webinar for e-commerce companies, and they have 13 speakers, and Michelle and I are one of the two speakers. And it's all about the topic we have is 13 ways you can accelerate your startup by using AI, which was a topic that we wrote about in the Forbes article. So if you search Forbes and Colin C. Campbell, you'll be able to see that article. The fact of the matter is, you can accomplish so much with so little resources. I think we are at a time that we're going to see the first unicorn solo entrepreneur. Like there's never, I don't, and that's sort of an oxymoron because there's no such thing as a solo entrepreneur. It takes customers, it takes consultants, it takes advisors, it takes a community to build a startup. So I sort of don't like that statement. Actually, I didn't come up with that; someone else did. But I do believe we're on the verge of creating startups at a very low cost. When I first started in the 1990s, and Michelle will remember this, Mimi, sorry you won't remember this, but we were paying $100,000 for a phone system, and now you can get that service for $99 a month. So the fact of the matter is, it's never been easier to launch a startup. It's never been easier to make $1 million. Michelle, I'm going to pass it to you right now before we open this up to the audience. Because by the way, this is a completely open book, open session. We want everybody who's interested in this topic to come on stage. Tell us if you are using AI in your startup and how it's helping you with your startup. Tell us if you are launching an AI startup company, and just let us know what you're doing in the AI world. A lot has changed since we first talked about AI in November of 2022. A lot has changed, and today's show hopefully will tackle some of that. Michelle, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, we're using it a lot in our business, and I think it really is just the tip of the iceberg. But I want to hear from our audience, and raise your hand. This is like open stage. Come up, share your experiences, ask your questions. But there are still many use cases that I'm still looking for an AI solution for. So I'd love to hear people's thought on that. But I'll just state a few ways that we're using it. It's amazing at like taking some rough copy that you write for the website or a blog or whatever, and really making it a nice written article. But also I like it because I'm using it to help summarize and pull out relevant points. Like, I find it amazing for that, as well as legal applications. But I really want to be able to take it to the next level. On one of the businesses we have a lot of IP, we have a lot of comics. I really would like to use AI for more art, or even just like animating stills that I have. So I'm very curious if anybody in the audience has that kind of experience. I'd love for them to come up. And we do have one person already on the stage, Savage. Savage, what is your question, or what is your experience? How is AI going to help you become a millionaire? Savage, you're on mute.
Hello. So basically, I'm not here. I don't really know that much. I'm more here to learn, if anything else. But I understand that AI is the future. Like most of the technology companies we see nowadays, they're making like a huge effect and like huge profitability through AI. So I'm just here mostly to learn. Thanks.
All right, we have Shadows. I know Shadows has a lot of experience, especially on the creative side with AI. We're interested in your thoughts here and how we can really use it and what you are finding that works well. Shadows.
Well, I use AI a lot for both writing and art. Uh, a good mix between DALI and Midjourney is what I generally use. I find that I prefer Midjourney, but DALI has got more flexibility, so that might be where might want to do some of yours, Michelle.
Like, could I upload images and animate them? Like,
Um, they're not at that stage yet. I think there is some tools for doing animating, but not in Midjourney and DALI. One doesn't come to mind, but that website I gave you a while ago with the AI tools, you probably find one on there.
yeah, remind everybody what that is. That was a really good resource.
That was Matt Wolf's Future Tools. I haven't got the exact. But Matt Wolf has got a channel on futuretools.ai. Matt Wolf has a channel on YouTube. It puts out at least one, if not two, videos a week as to what's going on in the world of AI. So he's a great one to follow. That's where I get a lot of my information.
Oh, that's awesome. Like that's what we're trying to do here is we're trying to learn. And Savage, I know you're like, oh, I'm here to learn. Okay, I'm here to learn too. I'm here to share. And if you're in the audience and you've used AI in your startup, you just gotta raise your hand and come on stage and enjoy this conversation. I used it this morning to write an article. So let's talk about writing articles and content. So one of the negatives of AI, what I've noticed is a lot of people are picking up on the fact that, oh, that's an AI written article. And I think we can get over that. I believe that by personalizing the articles, by adding real information, real context, real stories about your, personalized stories, and you add that into the content, and then you have AI clean it up. Yeah, I think I took about 10 minutes, 15 minutes this morning, Michelle, to write the article. So I was writing an article for paw.com, and this week it sort of broke in the news that there was bit of a controversy around bereavement leave for pet owners. Should companies offer bereavement leave for pet owners? And so I said, oh, that would be a great article because I recently went through a situation where my dog died and I wanted to talk about that. And so I talked about the challenges I had with that and how it impacted my life during that period of time. And I said, these are real emotional attachments. I named names, named my dog, and I talked about the whole thing. And then I popped it into ChatGPT and I said, can you create 7 reasons why it makes sense to have bereavement leave? And the title of the article is 7 reasons why companies should offer bereavement leave for pet owners when, and it just came out really, really, really good. It was like, but it was personalized. There was real information. It's not just prompt engineering. It's more than that. It's human engine. It's like you're adding those human stories. Shadows. What do you think about that? Like when we're talking about content creation, this idea of like really adding in the human element into the stories, because people are picking up on all this AI generated content. They're like, eh. What do you think,
Well, my
Shadows?
my usual style when I write is there's something in the article somewhere that's personal that I whether it's a story, an anecdote I've picked up, uh, some sort of first person experience. It usually shows up in most things I write. But something else that I've been doing lately is when I'm researching a topic using AI, I will ask it to give me book references, and it'll be give me at least 3 books that are relevant to this topic. And then the next question is why are they relevant, and specify which part of the book is relevant. And then I go and find the book and I add that material in so that there's that extra level of research because AI is not going to quote books to you.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that one. But I think we're pretty much. I think it's unanimous. I don't think anyone disagrees, Michelle. Right? That we should have personalization in the way that we deliver the AI, and that we're still talking to human, right? So we're still writing articles for humans. We're not writing articles for machines. And when it becomes too corporatey or too just sort of, you know, it is the way it is. And I think there's more to it than people are going to sniff it out. I'm telling you, I sniffed it out. Oh my gosh, like on those reviews for Start Scale Like Repeat Shadow, I can't tell you how many people probably used AI when they wrote the review. Look, I love getting positive 5-star reviews. Don't get me wrong. But come on, I love it when someone just says, "This was a damn good book," or "You know what? I actually did this, this, and this," or "It was just very personal." I can't stand it when I get a whole paragraph of, "This was like the ultimate guide of blah 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 blah."
Well,
Shadows.
I'll tell you, I've been writing in the crypto world for the last 8 years on a platform that's basically social media. And one of the big emphasis is on um, interacting and engagement. And people can write paragraphs of crap long before AI showed up. Like I've seen comments show up on my post, and I read them down through, and I'm going, "Did you just grab random text from someplace?" So it might not be AI. It might be somebody that's just got a stream of consciousness rolling.
All right, so I had a funny experience, and so let's start talking about how we're going to become millionaires here, right? I'm a 53-year-old arthritic person who um, is challenged with working out, and 3 years ago, I hired a coach, a CrossFit coach. So I do CrossFit 3 times a week, and it's freaking hard. It's hard as anything, but let's not go there. So I'm like talking to Pi. This okay, look, I've got all these AIs. We should talk about how many AIs out there and which AI does what particularly well. And let's get into that. Don't let me forget about that because I've signed up to six AIs or something like that, and they're all different LLMs, and it's just they all do different things. But Pi is good at being very conversational. And with Pi, I was talking about um, a situation where we're meeting the founder of Reebok. He's coming to my house tonight, actually, and he's 89. He's turning 89 in a month from now, and we're just having fun. And I said, "Look, I do CrossFit. Let's come up with an idea for a CrossFit shoe for people over 50. What would be a good name?" And so we started going back and forth, back and forth, and eventually she came up with this idea called CrossFit Prime. And I thought it was really cool that here I am talking through with a concept, talking to an AI about naming a concept or a business idea. And it sort of just connected and worked. And we even talked about different features the shoes could have, because people who are over 50 tend to little bit more cushioning, but we still need the stability for CrossFit, that kind of stuff. And I just thought it was really, really interesting that I could brainstorm with an AI how to become a millionaire. Michelle or me, or Savage. Savage, you seem to have your mic's off, so you ready to talk? Savage? I don't know why Savage mic's off. All right, well that doesn't matter anyway. So, what are your thoughts, Michelle, on that one?
Yeah, I think, look, in the current world, pre AI, it took quite a workforce, lots and lots of time to do a startup or even take your business to the next level. AI has the potential to really shorten that time length, like to do things that could have cost, hundreds of thousands, if not more dollars. So AI is kind of a great equalizer in that aspect where we can get our thoughts out there very, very quickly and test and learn and reiterate. And I don't know about others, but in my experience, like you generally don't have that perfect idea if you ever do right out the door. But what you do need to do is just get started. And Colin, I think it helps you get started a lot faster and improve. And that's like well on your way, to making a successful business.
Yeah, I like one of the big things about business is just getting started and actually what are the actions we take. We have a workbook coming out for Start, Scale, Exit, Repeat. It's going to come out in about 2, 3 weeks from now, and Mimi and the team worked closely with myself to figure out what are the exercises people need to do to be successful to start their business. So the workbook's going to focus on start, just that first section of the book. And what's interesting is that you can use AI at a number of those stages. And when you're starting a business, whether it's picking a domain name, whether it's figuring out, oh, I used this the other day, Michelle, uh, what is my personality profile? And normally you'd go on, and I do DISC is one of the methods that I follow for in the book, and I've done that with a number of our companies to understand everybody's DISC profile. But it's like Myers Briggs. And so what I did though is I went to ChatGPT in this case, and I actually started. I said, "Can you tell me my personality profile?" And so ChatGPT started asking me all these questions, and it within about 2 minutes had a perfect personality profile of me and knew exactly my disc profile. And I've done it before, so I've been tested before multiple times, and so it's just interesting how the AI was able to figure that out. And could we use AI to help with hiring great people around us? See, sometimes people don't have to necessarily be great around us. They need to be different around us. They need to have a different profile. And could we use AI to help us with the hiring of people? And I absolutely believe that is a potential for every startup. So let's talk a little bit about there's an AI for that, right, Shadow? So there's an AI for that. I've been using ChatGPT for a lot of legal work, and ChatGPT has been sort of the go-to for me until about a month ago when I started switching over to Claude 3. And Claude can handle much larger files and process information at a much faster rate. So I've literally cut and paste entire books into Claude and asked it to do certain tasks that were, and it delivered phenomenally. It was unbelievable. I cut and paste bylaws for an organization, asked to write the legal amendments, and it was phenomenal. So you're not, ChatGPT is dominated, yeah, but that's not the only AI out there. If you haven't played with Claude 3, I think that's something to pick up on. The other one I've been talking about is Pi dot, I think she calls herself P-A-I, Pi dot AI. It's free on your app store. That's one, it's more conversational. Another one that I really like is Perplexity dot AI. And if you get the rabbit, you can buy the rabbit for $200 and get the $200 1 year membership from Perplexity dot AI. What Perplexity does is it does a really good job of quoting sources of information, but also it's really up to date. It's like I asked it to write a press release for Start, Scale, Exit, Repeat, and it went into Amazon and looked at the absolute best quotes from the Amazon reviews that were up there for the book, and it was like, oh my gosh, this is insane! Like it was unbelievable. And then you've got a new AI out for videos. I think. Okay, hold on a second. I actually paid for it, so I should know. Sora, I think it's called Sora. You've got Grok out there. I haven't had a success with Grok. If anybody in the audience has, please let me know and come on stage. And then we've had success. There's a new one out actually for music, creating music. Can you imagine the first song that becomes $1 million hit that was created from AI? Oh my gosh. And by the way, who owns the rights to that? Do we have a lawyer? Should we ask that of our a legal question? If you create a $1 million song using AI, who owns the rights to that? I'm pretty much certain I think you do, and that could be your path to becoming a millionaire. Michelle, you're moderating here. I know we got more people on stage.
Yeah. So we have Jason on the stage. Would love to hear your experience and thoughts about using AI to become a millionaire or to help you grow your business to be $1 million valuation. Jason.
Thank you. Well, I sold my investment property for $1 million, so I don't know if that counts, but I don't think it matters. But I guess if I had to say, no, I don't. I'm not. I don't know. Like I really, I help try to help young people, and I teach 7 steps to entrepreneurship millions. And the first step, I think, is deciding what you want to do. And I don't think AI can do that for you. I was helping a young person yesterday in my family, and I asked her what she wants to do, like kind of when she grows up, because she's in high school. And first she said she doesn't know. So like, is AI going to tell her what she wants to do? I don't think so. So I'm not. The thing is, if you're already in business, if you already have a business, you're already somebody that's taken the initiative and is a minority of humanity. So that's why you might be excited about it, Colin, or Michelle or whoever. But the thing is, if somebody is not a self-starter, AI cannot make them a self-starter. If somebody lacks confidence, I taught, and you could ask students to put up their hand and ask them, and I said this before, I think I can't remember who's this room, but say, what's 5 plus 5? And the students even have calculators, and none of them put up their hand. and they're in grade 10. AI cannot give you confidence. AI cannot make a decision for you. It won't be your decision. AI cannot tell you you can do something when you don't believe you can, when you have insecurities. So why don't the students put up their hand? They're scared to make a mistake. Is AI going to make you scared to make a mistake? If I say, okay, ask AI something, and everybody's, oh, I'm not sure if I can. So the problems that humanity faces are problems caused by humanity. AI cannot solve problems that we cause because we're the problem. It takes initiative to start a company and to legitimately make $1 million. AI can't give you initiative. So I am not, thinking that it's going to solve all the problems of people that are on the street. And I'm here in Antigua trying to help them. It's not going to help people because I realize that the problem is that I came here. Perfect example. I was trying to help two young people and they robbed me. AI cannot give you morals. It cannot teach you to vote for somebody that actually has good plans and is not just good at marketing. It cannot make you help you with good relationships, choosing people. It can to an extent, but the problems with humanity are caused by humanity, and something humanity creates cannot solve those problems. This is Jason, and I'm done teaching.
Wow, that's awesome, Jason. I really like where you're going with this. And I've talked before about using AI to create your business plan and how, because we have this business plan in the book called the Four Sticky Note Business Plan. And I often encourage people, and I've done sessions on that, to not use AI in any way to create your basic business plan. You need to come up with your own vision, your own purpose, your own why, your own, you need to come up with your stage gates, you need to come up with your concept. How are you going to get on the front page of Google? All of these things are unique and different. And I know AI can be very artistic, but you can never outsource the entrepreneur. We need to come up with those things on our own. And believe it or not, once you've done that and you've got your strategy down packed, then you can lean on AI. And we're actually, it's funny because we're actually putting together a uh, service for free on Startup Club called Business Plan AI. And Mimi's been working with some programmers for the last few months to launch this service, and we'll be launching it hopefully in about a month or so. But what it does is it actually creates that investor plan, through a series of questions. I think we're starting with the four sticky note plan. You fill that out first on your own, and then it will generate your whole investor plan, with a SWOT analysis and that kind of stuff. Absolutely free. Just it's called businessplanai.com. It'll point to a section of our website. But you're right. You cannot outsource the entrepreneur. I think a lot of AI is generated based on consensus thoughts on what is conventional. And entrepreneurship is never conventional. Sometimes we got to think out of the box. Sometimes we have to think differently. I don't think Elon Musk could have ever went to an AI and said, "Hey, what are the idea? What? How can I do this? How can I do that?" He literally created these new spaces, everything from boring to the Boring Company, building those tunnels. Sorry, not boring, but to electric cars, to rockets, and everything else he's doing, including AI. He was involved in OpenAI in the early stages. But it takes that entrepreneurial spirit, that entrepreneurial imagination, that human AI. When I say human AI, I mean the actual brain working in a particular way that's unique and different to create what is a piece of art, what is a company, what is a startup, what is a business, and you can't get that from AI. But we sure as hell can use AI to accelerate it once we sort of figured out our strategy. What do you think about accelerating your business through AI, Jason? Like using it
Yeah, no, it's
to help
great.
you?
Of course, it's great, and it's similar to. I think I saw Fareed Zakaria talking about this. He said, industrial revolution was big because, like, he grew up in India. It's 1 billion people, and a lot of them were lifted out of poverty. China, a lot of people lifted out of poverty, and now, like AI can work like 10,000 minds. It's great. right? Once you start. What I'm saying is from I'm practically here. Literally, I retired down here in Antigua. Literally, two people, for instance, right? One person, he said he wanted, I said, I'll help anybody for free. Come to the library. So he booked me. I went to the library today at 10. Why am I home? He didn't show up, right? Another person, right, booked me. She saw me. She said, she always sees me vlogging. She asked me why I was here with my aunt, and my cousin, my aunt, 90s, right? So she had came down here for a birthday party from Toronto, right? So she saw me and she asked me, and I said, hey, yeah, I can help you. She has property she wants to do something with, and I helped her. She booked, and what happened? She didn't show up. So if you have a lack of drive. AI can't help you with the drive, keeping your word, keeping your commitments, all of these things that are necessary to do as a business person, right? So you still have to have those internal qualities. Like AI, I said, what should I do if somebody doesn't have that? Should I kidnap them? Should I pick them up off the street and like you pick up your child, right? No, I can't do that, right? So and once you already have the drive, of course, then AI helps you. Just like if there's a student that's really ambitious and they want to come in for extra help after school, I'll help them extra help, right? The students that really want to make it but they're stuck on something, they come in for extra help and they do well. But what happens with the students that skip class, that won't put in the work, right? What are you going to do? You're going to force them to learn? What are you going to do? My name is Jason.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
done.
I'm with you on this. I'm with you on this. And yeah, it takes to be an entrepreneur. I don't think you can essentially rely 100% on the AI. You have to still have that internal drive, the desire to move forward, to be proactive, to create. And you have to come be very innovative. And at the same time, if you're not using AI, you're holding yourself back because it will be the transformative edge that each of us have in starting a business. And what's fascinating is you don't need necessarily all the staff you used to need to launch a startup. And hopefully, I'm not being too mean here or crass. I'm just being logical. Maybe it's the Spock in me. But the fact is, you don't need to have necessarily the marketing staff or even the legal staff. And again, please get legal advice. Whenever I say this, I get in trouble. But I've used it so many times for contracts. Unbelievable. To interpret contracts, I beat it up on questions around contracts. I've written board motions. I've amended bylaws. Like it's been incredible. But again, get legal advice. And I usually do. I sometimes, not 100% of the time, do I rely on it. I say, okay, this could be too good to be true, but I will try to get some advice on this one. But the fact of the matter is, it really is like Tony Stark. You're strapping on an Iron Man suit, and you can create and do so much more with so little, and be an entrepreneur that you never could have been 20 years ago. It would have required an organization of people to create and do what you can do today. You can create so much and make millions of dollars from your startup. This is Start, Scale, Exit, Repeat, Serial Entrepreneur Secrets Revealed. And if you might not know this, but we're actually a podcast for those here who are here live on the show. If you search for Start, Scale, Exit, Repeat podcast on the internet, we have about 140 episodes out there. If you're listening to it in podcast, guess what? We do this every Friday, 2 o'clock. Come on stage, join us. And then you're in the audience now and um, you have used AI for your startup, just raise your hand. Raise your hand, come on stage, and tell us about how you've used AI in your startup. How have you used it in your company? Because we are a community. And in this community, we can learn from everyone else. We can connect and learn. And that's what we do. I've learned a lot from Jason. I've learned a lot from Shadows. I've learned a lot from Michelle, and I've learned a lot from Mimi. Mimi, I'm going to call upon you now for a second. I was going to ask you to share with us what Startup Club is doing around AI, specifically around the project that we're working on with the book and the shows, but also the business plan AI.
Yes, so we have a lot of exciting AI things coming. We recently launched Ask AI on the website on Colin C. Campbell and on the Startup Club website, where people can ask anything about the book and it responds in full paragraph or kind of like bulleted paragraphs. You can ask specific questions like, what is the 4 sticky note business plan? You can ask, what are Colin's tips to get like the most successful exit or acquisition or things like that. So that's really exciting and only improving more as we work with the developer. And then, yeah, Business Plan AI, like you said, is completely free. And we were talking with the developer, and I think the way he's formatting it is exactly like a real business plan with tables and everything. He was saying he doesn't think there's one as comprehensive on the website on the internet so far.
Yeah, and it's so interesting because when we did our private placement memorandum, and hopefully we can get there. Um, we paid $17,500 to have it written with a lawyer. Even though we did a lot of the groundwork, we did a lot of the risk factors, we did a lot of those kind of things, and this is a first generation AI generator, and there's a few of them on the internet. We've seen that out there, but our goal and mission here at Startup Club is to help and guide and provide services that are absolutely free. So when businessplanai.com comes online, it's something that we want you to be able to access and use. But it also incorporates the four sticky note plan, which is the one that we said you're not allowed to use AI to run. You got to do it on your own. You got to be your own entrepreneur. We have a few more people on stage. Ash, you're up next. We'd love to hear from you, Ash.
Hey guys, this is Ash. I am a startup founder. My startup is onesys.app, currently based in Austin,
So
Texas.
what does it say? What say again? One cis? How do you can you spell that?
Number one, SYS
Awesome.
dot app. So we are currently providing pickup and delivery for laundry and dry cleaning. So in terms of AI uses, I've been using Siona.ai, and it's a great platform for me because it connects blog posts directly to the website that I have, and it's a great tool. So I feel like the AI generation that we are going to go in, it'll definitely bring so many tools, and it already has. So yeah, um, I feel like AI is a great tool. I mean, besides it's a great intelligence and all that. Yeah,
So pick up and drop off of dry cleaning. Is that like the Uber? Is that like the Uber
Uber.
Eats of dry cleaning?
Yeah, exactly. My co-founder says, "Hey, don't say that. It's not the brand." But like, hey, yeah, exactly. It's Uber for laundry and dry cleaning.
Yeah, we don't want to let Uber know about that one, right? Because I think it's actually pretty cool. It's a really neat idea,
Right.
and you just partner with the dry cleaners
Right.
and promote that, and just starting out in Austin, and
Yeah.
that's your first city, right?
Right. It's a first city. We started in October, and I have currently 160 customers, and yeah, we're hoping that it'll be um, extended to other cities like Houston, Dallas, San Antonio area, and then move towards other metropolitans, maybe California, New York, Chicago, and so on.
Well, I feel like we're talking to a future unicorn. That's pretty cool. I'm following you back, by the way, on the app
Great.
here.
Yeah.
I know you're pretty new to Clubhouse, but it's I think it's a great idea, and what you're doing there is you've identified sort of like a paradigm shift, a technology shift for Uber, the
Right.
sharing economy, and then you've adapted it to a unique market that is not being served today.
Right.
And I think we can do that with AI as well. There's a lot of opportunities in the AI world where you can actually take what's out there and then adapt it slightly by adding AI and be a
Yep.
disruptor. And you're a disruptor in your space, I can tell that. Yeah. That's
Appreciate it.
really cool.
Yeah, if anyone out here wants to learn more about OneSys and what I've been doing, please feel free to email me and connect with me, and I'll help you if anyone there wants to become a next founder. Or yeah, we have a great resource in Austin, Texas here, and I've been connecting with many founders and so on.
Yeah, very cool. All right, so let's just keep rolling here
Appreciate it.
uh, on different ways AI can help you become a millionaire, right? So we talked about it help you create the business plan, not using AI actually, and then using AI to raise the money. And we talked about how AI can make a big difference on hiring people and personality profiles. Um, what are some of the other things that AI can do? We talked about content. We talked about legal documents. Um,
All right, I have one.
Go on, go ahead, Michelle. I'm struggling here a little bit.
Yeah, I all right, so one other way that I've been using AI that I really appreciate is looking for, customers. So it's really hard sometimes to figure out what are the best customers, or in my case, distributors, etc., to focus on or to contact. And I've had some really nice luck using AI to research potential distributors, customers, and partners. And I find that is very helpful, especially when you're needing to like bring more revenue in the door. And I think that's all critically important to your path to becoming a millionaire. Colin?
Yeah, I think Perplexity AI can help you with that because Perplexity's up to date. It uses ChatGPT as a back engine and some other elements, but it really is interesting how it can pull like the most recent information on the internet. When we're talking about yesterday's stock market close, we're talking about things that are right up to date. And I feel like that's a different. Earlier I talked about there's an AI for that, and can we use different AIs to help us with different situations? I absolutely believe that's going to be the situation. I believe that we're going to have maybe 10, 12, 20, 30 LLMs. I'm not talking about AIs that just pull from the same LLM or AI programs. We're invested in a company right now called Pensilla, and it's going to launch in about a month and a half from now. We've been 18 months in development. Unbelievable. But whatever. It's an e-commerce company. It's your AI marketing staff for e-commerce companies. And that's one thing I talk about in the book in chapter 3 about how do you succeed in a tornado? All right, what's a tornado? Jeffrey Moore, who wrote Crossing the Chasm Inside the Tornado, reinvented the concept of the technology adoption curve. And he shows early innovators a chasm, then a tornado, early majority, late majority, and laggards. And he really reinvented that curve. We had the opportunity to interview Jeffrey Moore for the book. And in chapter 3, we talk a lot about the technology adoption curve and what are the things that you can do in a market to win in a tornado. And there are three things. By the way, I do this all from memory, and I don't have any notes in front of me right now. So if I do mess up, please, whatever. But number one is make it easy. That's not Jeffrey Moore. That was my own, based on my own experiences over the last 20 years. Make it easy. We want to make technology so easy that technophobes, the early majority, are comfortable with it. The second is a laser beam. Jeffrey Moore calls this the bowling pin strategy. I call it the laser beam, where we want to be the best in the world at one particular thing. So in the case of Pensilla, which I mentioned earlier, we want to be the best company in the world to provide AI marketing services for e-commerce companies. Yeah, Pensilla can be the not Pensilla. Um, that one company. Oh my gosh, Canva can be the best company in the world, graphics and all that. But that's for everyone. We don't want to be for everyone. We want to be a laser beam. All of our products and services will be integrated with Klaviyo and all the technologies like Shopify and that whatnot, and all the APIs so that it can operate an environment much better than Canva can because Canva's more of a generalist. We want to be specific. We want to be a laser beam. We want to win in one particular segment. We want to make it easy. And here's this one comes from Jeffrey Moore. Those companies, and think about this in the context of AI, those companies that can deliver the fastest win. And I don't know if you're a little bit aged here, you might remember the how the internet formed. And the first company in the United States, big company, was a company called CompuServe. And then AOL came in and completely trounced them a few years later. And they did that because CompuServe focused on that early innovator, and AOL focused on the early majority by making it easy and by having delivering the fastest. When I say delivering the fastest, I mean the most distribution. You could get an AOL CD in almost any magazine. The time there were magazines, people used to read that stuff. I know it's hard to believe, but you could get an AOL CD in almost any magazine, computer magazine that was out there in the late '90s, early 2000s. So laser beam, make it easy, and deliver the fastest. Those are the three things that you can do in a tornado. In an AI time like this, if you can do that, and I like what Ash was talking about there. Like, he's a laser beam. He's focused on just being the best in the world at uh, connecting customers with cleaners and having the, oh, I shouldn't say the Uber Eats of laundry, and I think that's the laser beam. And if you try to be too much soon, you won't win. But if you can win in that laser beam, Ash, the next thing you'll be doing is you'll maybe be doing some other ancillary products or services as well. But we'll start with
Yep.
the laundry.
Yeah, that's what it is. We essentially start with laundry, and now we're going to dry cleanings and so on, and eventually, yeah, hoping that it might be for more use cases, maybe Airbnb cleanings and some similar towards that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So there it is. Like, there's the strategies. Chapter 3 in the book, Start, Scale, Exit, Repeat. If you haven't already picked up a copy, Forbes has put it on sale for the next few days on Amazon at $1.99. Is number 2 in the nation right now for starting a business and for small business. I don't know why we're not number 1, Michelle, and Mimi. I don't know what happened to us in Shadow. But number 2 today, for the categories starting a business in America. And it's Start, Scale, Exit, Repeat. If you haven't already got a copy from it, it will come off sale next week or the week after, and it will not be on sale again. I think they're talking about one other 2-day sale at the end in September sometime. But I do recommend just grab it now if you really do want to get the book. Um, where are we at, Michelle, with
Yeah,
paw.com?
we have, yeah, I just
Sorry.
want to say we only have about 10 more minutes. And I think we should talk about the master class that's free that you are doing right after this over on Entree. Let's not forget about that.
All right, but I was gonna ask you about paw.com and how you're using AI at paw.com, because I think that's an interesting. That's very interesting. About, the different. I know you're using it for customer service and you're using it for a few different things there. But I will say that, yeah, in about 10 minutes, there's an app called Entree. It's similar to Clubhouse. It's a little different in that it's got video, and it also has the ability for us to do PowerPoints. I've done about 5 master classes now. They're absolutely free, but only free during the live session. After the live session, it goes into the Entree Pro membership. So you need a Pro membership to be able to access the content. And and today we're talking about the art of the exit, and we really break down every single element that is involved in that. And if you're listening to some podcasts, you can go over to Entree, ENTRE, download the app, and purchase the Pro membership and get access that to that masterclass. Michelle, back to you again on paw.com. You're the CEO of paw.com. You took over on February 1st, and you did your strategic planning session yesterday. I know that you've used software like Rhythm Systems, which is pretty cool, which does all your goal setting. And within the software, there was some AI that helps you with that goal setting. So that's the other thing too, is we have to watch out for these the software updates and how they integrate AI into them, and we have to look to be able to use them. But how are you using AI at paw.com, Michelle?
Well, we use it several different ways, and obviously, there's even more that will be used within the next year. But one of them is, we said writing blogs. That's huge, and it helps. Just writing marketing, like we call them PDPs, product detail pages, that are very SEO rich. Those are the base cases, I would say, Colin. We actually use Zendesk, which had a plugin for chats to use AI to start building your own, chat bot, right? Using your data. So we've already started using that. But I use it also to analyze agreements. I use it to, we had a bunch of note taking and priority setting and whatnot that we were working on with the team for the next quarter here. We used it for that to help summarize and help, you can also use it like as your coach, right? Like give me areas I'm missing or help me understand metrics I should track here. I mean, it's really, I don't think of it necessarily like this is AI, what it can or cannot do. It can do anything that there's data to support it, right? And an infrastructure and interface that you can ask it the question. So I just say anything that you're thinking or you're curious or you want to improve or even brainstorm about, it's very good for that. However, huge caveat, make sure you review everything that's coming out. I did it today and it came up with a really horrible, huge error. Like it was so off, I couldn't believe it. And then I just put back in ChatGTP, like, how could you give me an answer like this that's so inaccurate? And it actually came back and said, "Oh, you're right. That was a really bad answer." So just be careful. It's a tool, right? It's not going to do your job for you. It's not going to do your strategy for you. It's not going to get the work done. We have to use it wisely and responsibly. And we're at the helm. We're the pilot here. So we still have to know, like I think the one person was saying, I think it was Ash or Jason, that yeah, you still have to have the good ideas. It just helps maybe you get there faster. Thank you.
So
Hey, Shadows.
I wanted to circle around to back to a couple of things. Um, when you were talking about uh, AI is basically got the conventional information, I've found that I treat AI like a 5-year old with a massive amount of intelligence, but very little communication skills. That makes my job to communicate. And I've found that when AI gives you the conventional, that you can often push it a little harder by just like you would another human being that you know is smarter than what they're saying. And sometimes I can get some nice little nuggets out of it, but you've got to push just like you would somebody else. And did I hear you say that you have access to OpenAI Sora?
Yeah, well, I paid for it like the first day it came out,
Uh,
and then I know they shut it down. But
yeah,
yeah, I
he
do have it.
doesn't.
Well, they shut it down.
No, no, sorry, they might have shut down the access to it, but I was actually able to get a membership
Okay.
on it. Yeah.
So, Michelle, why don't you take that animation that you wanted to do, get ChatGPT to describe it, and then
Uh-huh.
get um, Colin to do it in Sora? Use that as a base.
And it's
Yeah, I
funny
don't
because
think
I don't know if
he.
you've used Sora before, but it takes like about 30 minutes before it comes back. Like
Yeah,
they
it does.
actually send it back to you. They don't just it's just not instant. It's very interesting, and yeah, I played with it. I haven't had a lot of success with it yet because I'm trying to figure a few things out with it. And I think there's no sound. I don't know if they've added sound to it yet. I haven't looked at it in about a month right now. So, but
Well, even if you can get the video, you can do an overlay.
yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Yeah, well,
like
I'm not smart like you
like
are.
I want to upload art that I have and have it literally like I have the panels. I just want it to turn it into like an animation.
Well, there's a
There's no
good
person.
project.
What is it?
I said there's a good project for
Yeah,
Sora to work with.
yeah,
And maybe
exactly.
there's an AI that you should be developing there. I don't know.
I'm not a
Let
developer. I'm a user.
Hey Pi, we're talking about how to become a millionaire using AI. What would be some of your recommendations? Let's see what let's see what she comes up with here.
By the way,
Here
when you
are a
have
few
those dialogues
recommendations
with,
for how to potentially become a millionaire using AI. 1. Automate and streamline processes. Use AI to automate routine tasks such as data entry or customer service inquiries
Blah blah
to
blah.
free up time and resources for more strategic initiatives. 2. Leverage predictive analytics. Use AI to analyze data and make predictions about consumer behavior, market trends, and other factors that can inform business decisions and drive growth. 3. Personalize customer experiences. Use AI to tailor marketing messages, product recommendations, and other interactions to individual customers, which can help improve engagement and drive sales. 4. Stay up to date on AI advancements. Keep an eye on new AI technologies and trends,
Come on, give her some
and be
respect,
willing to experiment
Shadow.
and innovate to stay ahead of the
What's that?
competition.
Give her some respect. All right, so I mean, she's interesting. I do like the customization element of AI, how it can work with people and whatnot. But you know, there was definitely it was like you can see like that she's not quite as entrepreneurial as Shadow here. Like you can tell, she doesn't really quite have what it takes to be an entrepreneur, right?
Well,
I turned her off when I said that. I didn't want to say that in front of her.
the
Didn't want to
pushback
get.
there is that as creative as you can be? Can't you do better?
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
Sometimes they come back.
I actually know why I'm not so as excited because um, I guess because I understand and maybe you all will remember and forgive me this when I retired I did basically a problem exercise where you write down all the problems you solve and it's the same thing as all of the I saw a global problems list and I basically added all of these global problems: poverty, wars, disinformation, inequality, all of these lists of global problems. If you do that, then you'll realize that those problems are not solved by AI. I did that, and that's what I'm working on for the rest of my life. And that's why. You understand? It's not solved by teaching people how to become a millionaire. There's still a war in the Middle East. My name is Jason, and I'm done teaching.
No, we're not trying to solve that war here, Jason. And maybe AI can help you run for Prime Minister of Canada. That would be fun to see if it could help you there. But
Maybe
we're not trying
next,
to solve a war here. Go ahead.
maybe that's next decade. So if you're,
All right,
I'll use it.
use it for your campaign manager. You know what? I bet you AI could probably deliver you some better campaign advice than some of these hacks that are out there. That'll charge you hundreds of thousands of dollars. But we love listening from you, Jason, and then from Antigua. And like it's just a great show. I do believe that this is a great paradigm shift. It is a technological shift that we've not seen in our entire lifetime, and we have seen a lot in our lifetime, and I've experienced that a lot. I've done dozens of companies, and they've all sort of ridden the wave of a technology shift or regulatory shift, and this is it. Like this is the big one, and it's so exciting to be part of a time and place where a transformation like this is occurring. We are at the very beginning. Oh my gosh, it's 18 months later. Oh, it's too late. No, no, come on. We are at the very, very beginning of a transformation in society. And I know there's going to be a lot of people affected by it. I know there's a lot of lawyers that might lose their jobs. And I know that there's going to be a lot of entrepreneurs who are going to become millionaires because they know how to utilize AI to help them accelerate their startup or use AI or launch an AI company. In either case, this is it. This is the time. I'm very excited. We'll see you all next week at 2 o'clock Eastern on. Oh, actually, next week I will be off because I'm on a plane flying to Denver, Colorado. Michelle, remember? Do you remember why I'm flying to Denver, Michelle?
Because you're going to win a book award, the Benjamin Franklin Book Award. That's
Okay, come
awesome.
on. That's putting a lot of pressure on me there.
Yeah,
We're
just a
one of
little.
three books. We're definitely one of three books. We're in the top three in the United States for the best business book of the year, independent published book of the year, and we're gonna see who is the number one next Friday. And I don't know if I'll have to hold my head down if I lose, but no, who cares? Like it's like going to the Olympics. You
Exactly.
win a bronze, and like, are you really that much? You're better than 99% of the people out there. Like, what the heck's wrong with you? You won a bronze. Get over it. So hopefully we'll come back with something better than bronze. We're gonna pop over to Entree right now, and if you've been listening to this podcast, you can jump over to Entree and go into the pro membership and listen to the master classes. We've done 5 of them already. We're gonna continue to do one a month going forward, and it's on the art of the exit. See y'all on Entree.
Thank you, everyone.